Germany has been both the EU's paymaster and economic powerhouse during this whole EU debt crisis, and the German economy even managed to grow by 0.5% in the first quarter of 2012 with the help of demand in exports by emerging markets. Joining me now to talk Germany, Europe and Eurobonds is Carsten Brzeski, senior economist at ING in Brussels. Carsten, first off, how do you think the German economy is weathering, considering?
So far, the German economy has done very well. It almost looked as if the economy would be an island of happiness at least. High optimism, consumer optimism up, IFOs up, but what we saw actually today was a sharp drop in the IFO. So it looks right now as if the eurozone crisis is coming much closer to the economy, and that it is definitely not an economic island, and that we see a slowdown in the German economy. It will remain the stronghold, but it will grow much slower than it did over the last 2 years.
In terms of growth, do you continue to see exports and perhaps private consumption as the main drivers?
Yeah, I think the German growth will be rather balanced. It will be exports. It will be domestic demand. It will also be consumption and investment, but at the same time, all the individual drivers will be less stronger than they were in 2010 and 2011.
What about the ECB's role in all of this? OECD think the central bank shouldn't rule out buying government bonds again, LTRO 3 or cutting its main interest rate. What would you like to see from the ECB?
I think so far it is good that the ECB stays in the background to increase or to keep pressure high on the individual eurozone governments to continue with the reforms, with the austerity measures. I think that is what is needed. So really to avoid complacency in the eurozone. At the same time, if financial market turmoil increases further, I think that the ECB would start intervening in the bond market again as a first line of defense, and then a second step would be to come up with, let's say, more liquidity operations like the 3-year LTROs they had at the end of last year and the beginning of this year.
What about the issuance of eurozone bonds? Germany thinks eurobonds are not the answer to solve the eurozone's debt crisis, while other EU officials, including new French Socialist President Francois Hollande, who is actually the one pushing for such a call, believes otherwise. What side of the fence do you sit on in this debate? I
agree more with the German government here that they would not solve the current crisis. Neither would they create economic growth, at least not in the short term. What you would reach with the common Eurobonds would be lower interest rates for the peripheral countries, obviously. But to achieve this, we also have the rescue funds. We have the EFSF, and we will soon have the ESM. So countries in the Eurozone can actually get low interest rates, low funding costs, but then at the cost of implementing the structural reforms and austerity measures. Eurobonds right now would only mean that you invite moral hazard and that you would give away the cheaper funding costs for free. So therefore I think right now we won't see the Eurobonds. At the end of a longer integration process of having signed the fiscal compact, of having implemented the austerity measures, then I see that it is possible to also have a common Eurobond.
Okay, so you agree with the analysts that believe once more fiscal consolidation takes place first, the issuance of Eurobonds over the next few years could be inevitable?
It is more like the cherry on the cake. It is really the crown of a further fiscal integration process, but it should not come at the beginning.
Hollande's victory has significantly changed the terms of these debates. Do you think the Franco-German partnership that has held together the EU can sort out their differences tackling austerity? Or do you think Hollande will look to form a new coalition with the help of perhaps Italy or Spain? We
do see that there is some tension on this on the French-German axis or relationship right now. At the same time, if you look at the characters, Hollande at the French part, Merkel at the German side, these are very pragmatic politicians, and of course they do know that you need both Germany and France to really get, let's say, change in the Eurozone going, which means they will get their act together, they will find compromises as all their predecessors have done.
Do you think Angela Merkel will eventually drop her resistance against some of these proposed measures?
I think she has dropped, her resistance against this idea of stimulating growth. So we will get a growth compact, but it is a growth compact which will not come instead of austerity measures, but which will come next to the austerity measures and the fiscal compact. On the Eurobonds, I think the German resistance will continue, and they will really stick to this line that maybe at the end of the ride they will agree to the Eurobonds, but really not right now.
Voter support and confidence seems to be trickling away for Angela Merkel's ruling party, according to recent polls. Are the German Conservatives losing pace?
No, I wouldn't say so. What we see in German politics is that the latest polls were really determined by the local elections. Merkel is still the most popular politician in Germany, according to the opinion polls. So here, I think the lack of success of her party in the regional elections, then being dissatisfied with her performance. And we will only have the next federal elections next year in September 2013, so this is still a long way to go, and as we all know, sympathies and popularity can change very quickly.
Carsten, thank you very much. It was great to get your opinion on the matter. Now, I'm afraid that's all we have time for the moment, but do stay tuned to DukascopyTV for more financial news and updates. Goodbye for now.